everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we've got a pair of teams who very much want to get back to 500 today. It's the Rams going up against the Seahawks.
Okay, Larry, we are just south of historic Pioneer Square at CenturyLink Field in the beautiful city of Seattle, Washington. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This will be fielded at the 8. A little juke. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the #1 overall selection back in 2005 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass. He didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff them in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, set the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Third and long, it's Smith. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's finally taken down, but not before getting across midfield and across the 45-yard line. And that one results in 35 yards.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
So the incomplete pass brings up second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed.
And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's third and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Bortles. It's complete to Jerron Brown. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Snap comes at 1, and it's Bortles. Over the middle, it's Fells. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
On the run, it's Perkins. He'll get it inside the red zone, but only for a couple down to the 19.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big.
That's what they were aiming for. You want to keep moving the sticks, get into a rhythm, gain confidence as you go along. And right now, mission accomplished.
They'll let the shorter back Perkins run it. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
He gets it halfway there with that run. I think you play up-tempo, get right back on the line of scrimmage, and hammer at him again.
Now Bortles throwing on 2nd down. And it's complete. He's got it in the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Quincy Enunwa, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Rams are going to take a first quarter. Robbie Gould on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead. Gould now out to kick it away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Now Smith, and he's got the hook up for the first time with a veteran, Jeremy Maclin. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
You see what Riddick was able to do in last week's ball game. 22 carries, 83 yards.
And when he went over 1,000 yards last week, you know what it did for their offense? It gave them a true identity because everyone's going to talk about this. The offensive line's going to take pride in it. Of course, the guy carrying the football will. But how about the coaching staff? When they go in and talk contracts, when they talk to reporters, hey, we had a 1,000-yard rusher this year. That means something in today's NFL. There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? It sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. A gain of 3, 2nd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
He finds his man, Baldwin. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So the big play nullified, illegal forward pass.
And maybe we know why they were able to get such a good chunk of yardage on that play. That pass was illegal.
And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. So after the missed long field goal attempt, this offense set up nicely at the 44-yard line.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
On second down, Perkins. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's third down.
Wow, that play got shut down in a hurry.
As soon as the snap came, you can see defensively they were just closing in. That was going nowhere.
Yeah, you count on your offensive line to give you a little bit of space, a little bit of time so you can make a move. There was none there for him.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And not great starting field position here for the offense. Now a play fake here on first down. And this is complete on the comebacker. It's Macklin. And he's going to get this one all the way up to the 30. That one goes for 24 yards.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side, but for lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football.
Alongside my broadcast partner, Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2, but they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The drive starts with a run by Perkins. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
Here we go now. 3, 39.
Bortles to throw on 2nd down. He's got his tight end. It's Fells. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there Some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. Give him 8 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Off of play action, here's Smith. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And that's caught inside the 35. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. A big play that time for the Seahawks. 48 yards.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. And the Seahawks on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. From the gun, here's Smith. Oh, he's got some breathing room. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. And this one is right through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So a good kick that time, and he's able to redeem himself from the previous miss.
And fortunately for him, he got the chance to do that not long after missing the first time. Sometimes a whole game goes by, and you don't get that chance at all. So you keep it with you until the next time you take the field.
So now here are the Rams as their offense comes back out. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Over the middle here to Brown. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. We'll check on his status when we get back. Now Bortles again. A dump off to the flat for Perkins. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Here's Darquan, and an alley to run, and he's going to get this inside the 30. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Here's Perkins on first down, and he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he's a big factor in the run game. No gain.
They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in.
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Julius Peppers in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on first and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
Throw left side complete. It's Perkins. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much, unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal. I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up fourth. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense. Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play. But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them, they've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Fresh set of downs here. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. On first down, it's Smith. This is Riddick on the screen. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. To throw on second down is Smith. He hits Riddick underneath. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. fires one incomplete. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. That'll bring up second down.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
It came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. And Rudolph has it left side. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Smith throwing again. He hits Baldwin right side. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That one goes for 29 yards on third down. Smith. His throw caught at about the 5. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. James Starks, as the first half is winding down. And the Seahawks just an extra point away from tying this thing up. And he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. Here comes Philip Dorsett now to return it. And he is going to feel that one knocked down hard.
There we go now. Green 90. Green 90.
They go play action here on first down. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
There we go. Blue 45. Blue 45.
A final shot before half for Bortles. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. So thanks to the late touchdown. Sorry, Larry, your hard work appreciated by so many men and women, but not today as we get back to the action in the second half. This one taken just inside the 10. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now the Rams offense, they work their way back on the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They were looking to find space there for Paul Perkins. And it's third down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. So the defense blitzed. A nice job picking that up, completing the pass.
And how in sync was the quarterback in his center on that play? They saw the blitz, made the appropriate calls, got the line engaged because now they know there are going to be extra guys coming at the quarterback, so they got their assignments down pat and kept them away from him, and he's able to step up in the pocket and fire one now for a really good strike.
There we go. Green 90.
On second down, here's Bortles. Over the middle, Jerron Brown's got it. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
And he's going to go down. and they sack him back right around the 30. Deron Smoot in there to record the second sack of his young NFL career. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
And how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense. While we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore, I kind of get why those old-school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
Yeah, they were able to move the football, but the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Smith. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. And it appears we've got a member of the Rams shaken up on that last play. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. Well, if you look where that play starts, O-line versus D-line, that was a battle won by the D-line.
Yeah, and oftentimes it's won by quickness off the ball. Who can handle the guy across from them best? On that play, the defensive line did exactly that.
And some big-time hitting going on there. He is knocked to the ground.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
That's a first down if he holds on, but you saw the contact, able to jar it free from him and force a fourth down.
Great play defensively there, as you said, just to knock it free, because if he had caught that, past the sticks, first down. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. They'll let Perkins carry to start the drive. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And a couple of big boys up front defensively, and in that 4-3, those D tackles so vital.
Extremely vital. I love how you describe that, because if they control things up front, often it's over the guard. Sometimes they slide and make it over the center. It's really hard to get a play started then, because a lot of teams want to start inside out running the football. But against a good 4-3, you may not find any space. And on that play, it was zero space, no gain.
Throwing now is Bortles. And right side, Henry's got it. And he's able to get up here to the 26. They get 7 there, but it brings up fourth.
he wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get into that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Taking it about the 16. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Smith. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
And we just saw another example. These cornerbacks have played tight coverage all game long. Might start wanting to think about a few double, triple move routes to try and shift their guys free.
You're right, they have had no room to breathe. It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. Give him 30 yards there. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
They go back to Reddick. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Time running out here on the play clock. They'll run here. This is James Starks. Down right around the 25. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that's going to tie us at 13. So it goes down as an 8-play drive, and they cap it with the field goal.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a few first downs along the way, but they couldn't keep the momentum going all the way into the end zone.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Back now in Seattle, Washington. 13 all our score as we start quarter number 4. Throwing his Bortles on 3rd down. And this is going to be intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line. So how about that for a momentum switch?
We're in the 4th quarter, and it's a tie game. You've got to take care of the football here. Now their opportunity to take the lead right out the window, and everything is flipped in the other direction.
Gave a glimpse of his quick feet, but not a whole lot of space down at the 30. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Riddick with a carry. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down. Temptation there certainly to go for this, but I think you have to kick it, right?
The temptation coming from the fantasy owners, right? I mean, there are some that are going to want to kick it.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
We've been at enough practices, and how many times have we stood on the sidelines and a unit goes out to kick a field goal and hear the special teams coach say, make sure you protect. First thing, protect. And here they give up a block.
Yeah, especially in a tight game like this, tied second half. This is when execution is so key.
They go over everything in the huddle. The last thing you're going to hear everywhere, make sure you protect. That didn't get done.
They go with Perkins again. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Officially, no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 48. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Great footwork, but still wrangled down before reaching the 20. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
And he's got room. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Here's Smith. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll make it a 2nd down. Play clock winding down. Trying to run the option right side, Smith. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. They're running with Starks. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
Again on the ground, again with Starks. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown, you're without a doubt. And so far,
rush coming, and he's taken down. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. And his kick here is good. And that will break our tie and give them a 3-point lead. So the drive here ends with a field goal, and that does give them the lead, but this this one is still a long ways from over.
And you love to be able to look up at the scoreboard and see that you're out in front. But then you take one look across the field and see that offense is raring to come back out. And you think, I don't know that field goals are going to be enough to get us home. Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Quincy Anoon with the intended receiver, and it's second down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. Throwing is Bortles. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. It's the former Ram, Nick Fairley, in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And I know it seems like we say this a lot in broadcast booths, but a quarterback can hold on to the football too long in these situations. I think he did right there.
Oh, I agree with you totally. Sometimes you have to understand situations. Get rid of the football, save some yardage to make it less to gain for the next down. Instead, he was so hipped on ball security, he held on to it and took a big sack.
And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. This is Starks to start the drive. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football. But they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll need to get the play off quickly. Smith on 1st down. Wide open receiver complete. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Smith. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. They run again with Starks. And he will have the 1st down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. Toss play to Starks. Uses the spin. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Whistles now in a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. A run here for Starks. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Starts. He will push his way down to about the 14. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Back to throw. Henry's got it out on the left side. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on first.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
He gets it to Brown, complete. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23. First down now, but the clock continues to move. And he clocks it with just over 30 seconds left. Offense still needing 10 yards. Second down. They'll look to throw. He's got it complete to Perkins. And he's brought down. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. First down now, but the clock continues to move. And he just clocked it. But the clock wasn't even moving. Well, that's one you don't see very often, a wasted down. He'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Richardson. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. A good pickup there, a 22. And they'll stop it with 4 seconds showing on the clock. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. One final try now for Bortles. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Well, Charles, exciting to the very end. That's what we just saw in this game. Final play there, had it in the red zone, but anytime you're outside the 10, that's tough. Trying to draw the final play to get in, and they couldn't do it.
It certainly is. So what they were looking for was, extra time. Too bad it's not FIFA soccer, right, where you get a little bit of extra and you get a chance to run a couple more plays and maybe get closer and take that last shot into the end zone.
So for the Seahawks, they get back to 500 now as the win moves them to 7-7. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Rams, the loss might knock them out of playoff contention as they drop to 6-8. And they'll try to rebound next week on the road in Nashville. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.